Madame June, a devoted born-again Christian, was known for her lavish lifestyle and charitable deeds. However, the source of her wealth remained mystery to everyone around her. In her grand home, Madame June employed many maids within the ages of 14 to 17, including Ajoke, a vibrant young kid with big aspiration. Ajoke grew up in an orphanage home. She had no real knowledge of her biological parents. This painful past drove Ajoke to strive for a better future. One day, while she was cleaning Madame June's bedroom, Ajoke mistakenly opened the locked box. She was shocked with what she saw inside the box. Ajoke couldn't believe it. What am I saying? Am I dreaming? She quickly closed the box back, hurriedly went back to her room. Overwhelmed with questions, Ajoke wondered, who is Madame June? Is she genuinely a devoted Christian? Ajoke was filled with doubt and disbelief. What is the true source of Madame June's income? What did I just see? Ajoke couldn't shake off what she saw off her head. She tried to focus on her chores, but her mind kept wandering back to what she saw. What could Madame June be up to? This is not true. What did I just see? She kept wondering within herself. That night, Ajoke lay awake, her ears picked. She couldn't sleep, listening for every unusual sound around. She heard footsteps outside. She followed the footsteps. She quietly listened. She heard a voice talking. Make sure you leave no stone unturned. That must be Madame June's voice. What is she up to this time around? What stone is she talking about? Ajoke went back to her room. The next day, Ajoke noticed Madame June was absent, supposedly attending a charity event. But Ajoke knew better. She snuck into Madame June's study, searching for more clues. A hidden folder on the desk caught her attention. As she opened it, her heart sank. Document with cryptic codes and names, none of which made sense to her. But one phrase caught her attention: new arrival. Ajoke opened her eyes to watch and see better. What kind of arrival? She further went deeper into the folder. Ajoke saw other names, but some of the names were written with red pen, some with blue pen. Ajoke wondered, why had they written this way? Ajoke sensed serious danger. Something is going on in this house that we don't know about. Suddenly, she heard footsteps approaching. That was Madame June's assistant, Mrs. Jane. Mrs. Jane entered the study. Ajoke, what are you doing here? Ajoke's heart skipped. I was looking for a book, ma. Ajoke replied, with her voice shaking. Mrs. Jane looking at Ajoke with suspicion. Ajoke, you don't have to be nosy. Mrs. June won't like this. Just then, Madame June walked in. Her smile so radiant. Ah, Ajoke, I see you are interested in reading. Excellent hobby. But perhaps you should focus on your duties for now. Ajoke quickly nodded in agreement and walked away. That night, Ajoke received a mysterious note under her pillow. Meet me outside the gate at midnight. Come alone. Ajoke was shocked and confused. How did they get into my room? What have I gotten myself into? Is anybody following me? She kept asking herself. But as she went outside to see who this mysterious person was, she met no one. Ajoke stood there for a while, but nobody showed up, and she quickly went back into her room. The next day, Ajoke sat with the other maids, asking them some questions about their various orphanage homes and how they got to the mansion in Madame June's home. Everyone's story seemed the same. They had no knowledge of how the outside of the mansion looked like, as they believed that when they got there, they were all asleep. Ajoke quickly wrapped this whole thing together. I was also asleep when I got in here, said Ajoke. And they all looked in surprise. Ajoke started putting all the stories together to make sense of something. Then she told them, I have noticed that we all slept while we were being brought in here. And that is why we don't know how the outside looked like. The girls all nodded in agreement, but seemed careless about it, since their needs were being met by Madame June. But a particular occurrence always happened. Almost once a week, Madame June would accuse someone, especially those aged 16 to 17, of stealing money from her room, and a healthy-looking man would come in to take them away. They have been taken back to their orphanage homes. Or are they really stealing those money Madame June accused them of? Ajoke started asking the girls again. A lot of wise wisdom started rolling up in Ajoke's head. Just when she was about to tell them what she saw in Madame June's box, Auntie Lucy, the head maid, walked in. What did you see, Ajoke? Auntie Lucy asked, her eyes piercing. Ajoke tried to say something, but Sandra, one of the maids, quickly blinked her eyes towards Ajoke, silencing her from talking. Actually, Auntie Julie, I was just telling them about a dream. I noticed we haven't gone out of this house, so I had a dream. We all went out inside the big bus. Oh, that was the bus you were trying to talk about? Auntie Lucy asked. Yes, Ajoke replied. And they all left to their various rooms. Some of them shared rooms, while others lived alone. Auntie Lucy was one of the oldest maids in the house. She had lived there and gained Madame June's trust. She was like Madame June's plant, always getting the needs of the maids directly to Madame June. So whatever anyone said to Lucy, Madame June heard about it. Lucy was also from an orphanage home, but had stayed as one of the longest serving maids. That night, Sandra went directly to tell Ajoke to see her later. When they met, Ajoke, being curious, wanted to continue what she was talking about earlier. But Sandra quickly shut her up again. Don't say a word. I know everything, Sandra whispered. Ajoke was shocked. You mean you have also seen it? She asked. Yes, I did, Sandra replied Ajoke. Madame June has some secret ordeal. I have known this for a while now, Sandra continued. She does a very bad business, but I can't tell the exact thing she does. I fear for our lives. I don't know if she kills us or sells us. I really can't tell the exact thing she does with us, but I know she's of no good. Haven't you noticed she brings new people almost like every week, and she takes some of us out in disguise that we stole her money? Ajoke said, I have been wrapping this all over my head. You just made a point, Sandra. She goes to the orphanage homes, get us in large numbers, and discard us gradually. Sandra continued. She is so influential that no one would even suspect things she does. Sandra went further to tell Ajoke that she was the one who left the note under Ajoke's pillow, telling her to meet her outside. But she noticed the camera would capture them together, so she didn't show up. Madame June knows about the box you saw, Sandra warned Ajoke. Inside that box you saw is a human remains, fingers to be precise. That's what she uses as protection each time someone dies in the process. But how did you know all this? Ajoke asked. Sandra replied, one day, I accidentally walked into a conversation with someone. She was asking, did she die? Then my head just went wide. What did I just hear? And that was when I started sneaking into her conversations. And the next day, I heard her telling someone, get me the fingernails of the dead ones. That was when I became very worried. I started sneaking to get more information, just like you're doing. I think we may all die. She's really up to no good. She acts so nice in our faces, but don't get carried away. Ajoke became more afraid. So you mean we are going to die? She asked Sandra. Sandra said, I don't know yet, but I know Madam June is of no good. I also think among us, there are one or two persons that takes information to her. And that is why I have kept this to myself all this while. But when I noticed that you know, I decided to come to you. Don't trust no one in this house. Just keep your things to yourself. So how do we do now? Ajoke asked Sandra. We have to figure out something, Sandra replied. The both of them agreed. They thought of how to escape from the mansion. Ajoke asked Sandra, don't you think we need to involve the others? Sandra replied, trust no one. And she left Ajoke. The next day, when they woke up, as usual, Madam June gathered everybody together. But this time around, it was Sandra she accused as the thief. Ajoke had skipped. Ajoke couldn't believe her eyes. Sandra? Oh, Madam June is up to something again. Does it mean I will not see Sandra again? Sandra was so shocked as well. She was trying to explain. I have never been to your room. I swear to you, Madam June. But then, Ajoke raised her voice up. Actually, I did it together with Sandra. Everybody was shocked. You mean you stole the money together with Sandra? Madam June asked. Ajoke nodded. Yes, ma. It was our idea to steal the money. We actually wanted to go out on a trip. I had a dream. I told the girls, we have never been outside before. And we all agreed that we would go out for a trip. How much did you steal? Madam June asked. We haven't counted it, but we saw the money. I can see you really have some nerves. Okay, if that's what you want, don't worry. You will have to go with Sandra. Madam June was very pissed. She knew Ajoke lied. She angrily asked the guards to take the both of them away. The guards took them to an isolated place in the building, and the both of them looked at each other. So we were right. Madam June is of no good. This is what she does to the others. Where are they taking us to? I don't think they want to just leave us here. Let's see what happens. But Sandra was not happy with Ajoke. You shouldn't have said that. Why did you join me? What if your fate is not the same as mine? Ajoke, that was risky. You know what you did was wrong. Ajoke replied, Sandra, I can't survive that house alone. You are the only one I trust. And Sandra asked, what if they want to kill us? Ajoke replied, I have a feeling we will not die. Don't worry, Ajoke assured Sandra. And the both of them looked at each other and they kept quiet. After a few minutes, there was a knock on the door and the person opened the door with a key. Behold, it was Auntie Lucy, the head maid. She brought their food. Have your food. They quickly thanked Auntie Lucy and told Auntie Lucy, Auntie Lucy, we didn't do it. We didn't steal the money. Auntie Lucy replied, no one ever stole money. Eat your food. You talk too much. And she acted so unconcerned. And she locked the door. The girls were so surprised and shocked. After some hours, Madam Jones' bodyguard walked in and pointed at Ajoke. "Hey, follow me." Sandra's heart skipped. This time around, she knew they needed each other. But then, Ajoke is leaving. Ajoke wasn't happy too. Then she asked the bodyguard, "Please, can Sandra come with us?" The bodyguard did not respond. They kept on moving. But as they were moving, Ajoke realized the hallway was so long. She started wondering, where could he be taking me to? This place is very big. Then the bodyguard opened a door to another room. What Ajoke saw was more shocking as she realized this is just the beginning to her problems. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe for more videos.